Hello, it's Dave. Got another game here for us. This will be a SlavDefense. The ECO code is D46. And our themes will be looking at double bishop sacrifice, opening lines, and the rook lift. So let's get started. This game was played in Helsinki, Finland in 1933. The players are Rasmussen and Polkinkin. I believe that's how he pronounces his last name. Anyway, let's get started. First move is d4, d5, knight to f3, knight to f6, c4, c6, knight to c3, e6, e3, and knight at b to d7. These are normal developing moves in the semi-Slav defense. White's next move is bishop to d3. Black played bishop to e7. And a lot of times in this line of the Slav defense, after White had played his bishop to d3, Black would take on c4, gaining tempo because the bishop had already moved, and of course White would recapture at c4, and then Black would push his pawn to b5. But in this particular game, Black played bishop to e7. After e7, White castles, Black castles, and now b3, b6, and now bishop to b2. The two bishops for White have a potential against the Black king side. They both, if the line open, they would have very good attacking chances here on the against Black's king. And let's see how the game progresses and how White is able to use his two bishops in his attack against the king. The next move for Black was bishop to b7, completing his development. White plays queen to e2. Black plays c5. He decides to play on the queen side. Next is knight to e5. This is a very nice outpost for the knight. And now queen to c7, f4. For those of you that are familiar with the Kali opening, this looks very similar to the Zuckertart variation of that particular opening, where White has his bishop at b2 and d3. He has a knight at e5. He's pushed his pawns up to overprotect the e5 knight with pawns at d4 and f4. And White will have the possibility of using a rook lift from f1 to f3 and h3 or g3, putting pressure against Black's king. This is a very good opening. I've played it before. I don't think I've done any videos on it. Maybe I will sometime. But I found it it's a good opening. It has a lot of attacking potential. And anyway, let's get back to the game. The next move for Black is rook at a to e8. White plays knight to b5, attacking Black's queen. Queen drops back to b8, and now White begins his play so he can open up this long diagonal for his two bishops, especially the bishop at b2. His next move is knight takes d7. Black responds, knight takes d7, and now d takes c5. The diagonals for the bishops are now open. As you can see, that both the dark squared and light squared bishops are bearing down on Black's king side, and they will play a very decisive role in this game. The next move is b takes c5, and now the sacrifices begin. White plays bishop takes h7. Some people consider this the Greek gift sacrifice. Next move is king takes h7. Of course, Black could decline and not take the bishop. This way White has won a pawn, and still would have very strong attacking chances on Black's king side. Next move is queen to h5 is check. King to g8, and now White uses his other bishop to completely demolish the pawn protection for Black's king. He plays bishop takes g7. Black plays king takes g7. Of course, it was forced since he was looking at a mate at h8. And now White plays queen to g4 is check. Black moves king to h8. White begins his rook lift with rook to f3, knight to f6, Rook to h3 is check. Black's only move is knight to h7, and now queen to h5 with mate next move. Once again, you can see the great attacking chances with the sacrifice at h7 with the light squared bishop, and in this instance, White was able to follow up with his dark squared bishop, smashing open the king side completely by taking the g7 pawn. Well, I hope you enjoyed the game. I enjoyed bringing it to you. This shows a very good potential of how to use your two bishops attacking a under-defended king. And hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, have a great day.